Good morning, lost and found. I am on here today to obey the Lord. This is something that I've really been not wanting to do and dreading. The Lord has not let me leave it alone and insisted that it is important. So I'm going to address the channel split. I'm simply going to tell you what happened and then I'm going to leave it there. So when I went back to Tennessee, the place that I was staying at had a mold problem, so I was unable to stay there. So I had went to Linda's. The first night that I was at Linda's, the Lord kept me up all night, and He downloaded a beautiful prophetic word for Linda. And in the word, He had spoken that when Angie comes on board, that I can leave. So I had shared this information with Linda. And the following day, then she had reached out and contacted Angie. And the following day, or the day after, we found Patton House. She had reached out to Angie and thought it'd be wise to get Angie on board because she has the 501c3 and wasn't really wanting to take on the paperwork to do a 501c3 for Lost and Found. So thought I agreed. I was submissive. I was agreeable. And I was still trying to discern my role in this. So I had thought, okay, well, maybe God had spoken that I will start the restaurant, stay for a while until Angie and her husband can sell their house, and then move in to the restaurant because it had apartments above it. So that was what I was thinking. So Angie came, we met, we taped the Patton House video, and then went to bed that night. I woke up the next morning very unsettled, and I'm seeking the Lord. I'm like, okay, what's going on? He said, okay, like I said, Angie's on board. You can now leave. So I took that as leaving not only the Patton House, but also the ministry. So I proceeded then to, say the goodbye video and to move to Florida. So then when I got to Florida, I was praying and fasting, and the Lord spoke to me and said, now give it a week and I want you to take the channel back. And I said, okay. So, I sat on, I continued to pray, and then the day said, okay, this is the week, take the channel back. So when I was adjusting the passwords and all of that, He spoke very clearly, and you have to delete Linda's videos. And that was very hard for me, but I've learned something. Obedience breeds blessing. Partial obedience, partial blessing. And also delayed obedience, delayed blessing. And I think even me delaying this address, I've, delayed some blessings and lost some subscribers. So, I did ask for forgiveness for that, and I am now telling you. So that is what happened. Also, through the whole Patton House thing, after we recorded that video, Linda and I were listed as the names on the lease. After that video, we contacted the leasing agent, and by the end of that day, my name was off the lease, and both Angie and Linda's were on it. So that was another, confirmation of God's word that when Angie comes on, I'm to leave. So I was just obedient to God in the process. And although it was stretching, although it was hard, I've walked long enough to understand that God's ways are not our ways and His ways are higher, and that we don't have to understand. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge me, and I will make your path straight. So I held on to those verses in this, turbulent, tumultuous transition. Also, I want to address the people that care for me and believe that it would be best for me, as they had said, to go home. I just want to make it very clear that I do not have a home. Both my parents have passed away. I have very little extended family. The family I do have is here in Florida, and that is my brother's. Although right now the relationship is strained, I do have faith that God is going to restore it. And both Chloe and I will be around family and loving family in God's timing. My walk of faith is radical, and I do understand that not many understand. And that's okay. I've been called to this walk. I've accepted the call, and I accept that it's not always understood. But I do have faith that my brothers will come around and God will restore that. And I guess so then the only place that if I had to call somewhere home would be where my family is, and they are here in Florida. So, even with the resistance and with the hard times, we are pressing forward because we know that this is where we are supposed to be. So I just wanted to thank you all so much, really from the bottom of my heart, for sticking around, through all of these changes. Thank you so much for believing in me. I really hope that you will continue to view that I can bring you, inspirational faith living, inspirational poetry, motivating words, words that will help to lead and guide you and get you closer into God's heart. My heart is really for, God to just work through me in whatever way He can to help whoever He can. So I do look forward to, continuing on, and I really hope that you stay and join me. Sorry for the delay in this address. It's been difficult, and really, truly, I was hoping that the Lord would just allow me to leave it alone, but He has not. So, again, thank you so much. May your day be blessed, and I can't thank you enough for continuing to follow Lost and Found. Have an awesome day.